Hey guys, this is Bo. I'm going to teach you how to be a good tank in Final Fantasy XIV in as short a time as possible. So let's get started. Communicate with your new team so that way they know what you will do and what you expect from them. In this case, I always say, please follow the order for which I will designate targets, and I will do all the pulls. And then if anyone has questions, we go from there. A good tank will designate targets in order of priority, and in Final Fantasy XIV, you have an ability to use signs. In this case, it's Shift-M to bring up the signs in the party menu. Always designate the targets. 1, 2, 3. You want to put the highest priority first, have everyone focus on that one target. The reason for focusing on the one target is, if you have a big group like this, as a tank, you need to do AoE threat generation. So if people are splitting their DPS all over the place, it's very difficult to hold threat. So make sure that you're using signs. Another very good thing to do as a tank is to check in with your team and ask if anyone wants to do the full dungeon or just get through it as quick as possible. Some people grind dungeons in order for tickets, duties, experience, so check in before you start the dungeon if anyone wants to go the full dungeon or just a little bit, because as the tank, you designate the pace and also where everything is going to go. Positioning of mobs is a critical element when you are the tank. Not only do we have to grab all of the enemies together and keep them on us, but make sure that any cone attack, as you'll see in a second, will go away from the group and only hit us right there. See? So the way I tank is I always keep my back away from the group, so in case any frontal cone attacks happen, they only hit me at the minimum, and don't splash into the caster. You don't want them moving around. You want the healers to focus on healing, you want the mages to focus on damage, and then anybody else will be behind the mob, because they know the cone attacks are happening. Okay? But make sure to be aware how those mobs are going to be interacting with you and your group. One element as a tank is you need to deal with sometimes DPS not knowing what they're doing. So they will grab an extra group. Now, you have to be ready for this and have at least enough points available for an AoE. So in this case, this fella just grabbed another group. So in this case, I'm grabbing and using my AoE threat generator as much as I possibly can. I'm dumping the whole thing to get this guy, to aggro off this guy, but he's too stupid to realize that more damage equals the threat goes out. And it takes a long time for me to get the threat off of somebody. So be aware, kind of constantly check the right and left of your group, because you're going to eventually have someone that does something like that. But knowing how to handle it will make sure to prevent any kind of wipe, or to get those guys, those extra mobs, killing your healer, which is pretty bad too. And my last bit of information is to make sure that you know how the boss battles will work within any duty that you're going to be a part of. More importantly, I always recommend checking in with your team before doing a boss to ensure everyone knows what to do. In this case, this particular boss, just burn the boss. There's nothing, don't worry about the ads, don't worry about anybody, just burn it. If someone else doesn't know that, it saves a lot of time and a lot of misery when people are grabbing ads when we don't even need to worry about them. So it's your job as a tank, A, set the pace, but more importantly, ensure everybody's on the same page. Okay? To wrap this thing up, make sure you have all of your team checked in, you're designating targets, that you understand how threat generation works, positioning, like in this case with the cone, keep it away from your team, know the boss fights, and generally just try to be as useful and helpful as possible to everyone in the group. So that's how we're going to do tanking in under 5 minutes. I hope that was useful for you guys. If you would like to leave a comment, let me know how the guide was for you, and hit that like button. Alright guys, like, comment, subscribe, talk to you soon. See ya.